Welcome, Forza fans. I'm Charlie Hodson, and I'm going to be hosting this very special monthly episode of Forza Monthly, live from my home. So, as I said, we're going to start with Forza Horizon 4, the Series 21 update, and joining me to chat through these features is Mike Brown, the principal game designer at Playground Games.
This is the Portofino. It's considered to be the entry-level Ferrari. This is the Porsche Gunther Works 400R. We have the 1992 Toyota Supra, and because it's got front engine and rear-wheel drive, it is really, really well balanced for drifting. So this car is based on the 599. It's got a twin centrifugal supercharged 6-litre V12, and it sounds absolutely ridiculous. This is Matt Field's car from Formula Drift. So it's based on the 2013 C6 Corvette. It's 1,050 horsepower.
Right, so as Mike touched on in there, we do have the 2013 Formula Drift Corvette coming up, which was driven by Matt Field. You're there, but you're not alone, are you?
No, the car is here. So Formula D is actually short for Formula Drift. It's the professional drifting racing series in the United States. And you can see there's a lot of carbon fiber in the car. Like this is a fan shroud that's made out of carbon fiber, nitrous bottle, oil catch can, and water catch can, carbon Kevlar on the body panels. To say drifting has consumed my life is an understatement.
What about virtual driving? We have our very own Ali Tack coming up next.
Hey, yeah, I'm good. It's cool to be able to sit and watch the community chatting about their racing in their own voices.
DT really coming up behind South really fast, going on the inside of South. Oh, a little bit of sparkage there. This is so good.
Sort of one of the, I guess, the jewel in the crown of this month's racing was the 12 hours of Sebring. So a huge amount of racing this month alone in the Forza Esports community. It's been awesome.
I am joined now by Roby, who took those absolutely incredible shots. I checked out chat during part of that section, and they are all going crazy, Roby. Welcome.
That picture, I was actually streaming when I took it, and I asked people that were watching me, what car should I take? I thought it was very nice to take pictures not only of cars, but the motorcycles.
So in case you missed it, Forza Street has opened pre-registration for devices that use the Google Play or Galaxy stores with iOS on the way soon. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Hello, Forza fans. I'm Leviathan. I am live from the comfort of my own home to bring you this month's episode of Forza Monthly, and I am your guest host. We've got loads of lovely guests lined up and some great topics to talk about. So let's take a look at the schedule for today's show. Horizon 4 Series 22 update. Going to be getting the lowdown on all of the new cars coming to the update. Second, we've got the Forza Street. We've got a little bit of an interesting discussion going on with Andy, who'll be joining us to talk about the launch of Forza's new mobile game. After that, we'll be joined by Ali Tack to just have a little chat about all things esports, really, and see what's going on in the world of Forza esports. And finally, we've got a community spotlight. We're going to be meeting a community member that's been known for helping you meet your goals in Forza Horizon 4. But first up, it's the Forza Horizon 4 Series 22 update, and we're going to be chatting to Mike Brown, the principal game designer at Playground Games. Hello, Mike. How you doing?
Leah. How you doing? I'm doing really well, thank you.
I'm not so bad. We're both good. Oh, hello. So Series 22, what's new? Tell us everything.
Yes, so Series 22, this is one of our most car-packed updates yet. 6 new cars coming to the game. There's a theme that runs through this update of rally and off-road racing. Loads of the Forza challenges, the seasonal events, and the cars you'll be able to win from them are all themed around kind of 80s and 90s rally. So there's a lot of really cool cars, a lot of things in there that people have been waiting for a long time. So yeah, really exciting update.
Very good. And we just, in the previous live stream, we just revealed 4 of the cars coming to the update. So let's just have a little recap, just for those who might have missed it. What are the 4 cars that were revealed earlier?
Let's take a look. So this one is the 99 Ford Racing Puma. Really quite a rare car, only 500 made. And you'll be able to get hold of this one in the Cool Cats seasonal event in autumn. Yeah, really cool, beautiful, and very British as well.
Of course. sound. I mean, you can tell, can't you, just by the sound of it? It's got that traditional sort of rally sound. I mean, I'm untrained, you know, I can't really tell the difference, but that sounds rally to me.
This one's the 1990 Nissan Pulsar, built by Nissan to compete with the kind of dominant Toyotas and Fords of the rally era there. It didn't compete too well, but it does have a wicked Nissan Silvia engine in it. So it's really upgradable, really, really fun. Works really well in our game just because it's so easy to go and throw a load of upgrades and tunes on it. You can get that one for 50% completion of the festival playlist in spring. Next up, we are looking at the 91 Peugeot 205 Rally. So this was another one of those rally cars about that early 90s era. This one, I think, it's a European car, it's Peugeot, but I think still feels very British just because in that era, hot hatches were so popular in Britain, and the Peugeot 205 was absolutely one that you'd see quite regularly on the streets. And finally, this is the Toyota Celica 185. So this is the 1990 version of the Celica. You can get hold of this for 50% completion of the festival playlist in winter. It's a really, really awesome car. It really did have quite a dominant period in the Group A rally of the early 90s as well. So really cool car. Looks great, drives great, and like I say, you can get hold of that for 50% completion of the festival playlist in winter.
And it's got the cool headlights, of course. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Well, yeah, headlights. We love pop-up headlights. It's just make it look so adorable.
Rally cars. 4 awesome rally cars for 4 seasons there. And then on top of that, you say we've got another 2 cars that we haven't spoken about. Can we go into detail about those?
Yes. So first up, I believe, if they roll the video to make sure I'm not going to say the wrong one, it is the 1994 Toyota Celica ST205. So this is the next gen version of the Celica from the one we just saw. So this is the red car we just looked at. This is the next gen along. Came out in 94. It was an upgraded version of that car, so a similar engine but with a bunch of upgrades, so it could push it up to 150 miles per hour, 5.9 seconds 0 to 60. But the real reason, at least for me, that this car is such an icon is because it was the cover car of Sega Rally 95, which is one of my all-time favorite games, and I think the first ever racing game that I really, really fell in love with. Played with this car in that game for hundreds and hundreds of hours, and it only had 3 tracks. So it was an absolute gem of a car. The version we have here comes in this plain white, as you can see, but this car is most famous in the Castrol livery, that red, white, and green livery. So I imagine about 15 minutes after this car is available to players, then our incredibly creative community will reproduce that livery, and everyone else will be able to download it from them.
Amazing. And I mean, I imagine driving it in Forza Horizon 4 might be a bit of a different experience to driving it in Sega Rally.
Yes. Yeah, so there's certainly a lot more to do in it, that's for sure. And like I say, you can pick this one up in the What's the Word on the Street championship in summer, and then you'll have it then for the rest of this update, so you'll be able to use it in all of the different rally events that are going on during this series.
Fantastic. And what's the difference between this one and the earlier Celica you said? What's the sort of year difference?
So it's 4 years newer, and so in performance terms that makes it a bit faster 0 to 60, a bit higher top speed. But I think the real difference is in the stylings. This starts to really break away all those 80s kind of straight lines and become one of those really curvy cars of the 90s, which gives it a really kind of timeless look. It still looks fairly modern now. I think that's true of the Supras of that era as well. Like Toyota were really just going from strength to strength with their designs at that point, and it shows because although this doesn't look brand new, you wouldn't find it in a showroom, it certainly doesn't look like it's 25 years old.
God, no. I mean, it's crazy how still modern it looks even now. I mean, you would look at this in the street and I would never have said it was 25 years old. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, exactly. It's maybe it's not 2 years old, but if I told you it was like 7 years old, you'd go like, yeah, it looks kind of like it could slot in around then. But it's in fact way older than that. I think which just speaks to how well designed it is from a visual level, because it just feels so timeless. It's still a great looking car.
Yeah, and I think there's the 4 headlights at the front certainly appeal to that as well. I don't know. For me, it looks a little bit more like techie, and I like that vibe. But we've got another car as well, haven't we? That has been added.
Yes. So this one is the 88 Mitsubishi Starion. When we just talked about how 90s the previous car was, this one is very, very 80s. You can see all those straight lines there, loads of glass. Still has pop-up headlights, which we love, but it's very steeped in 80s stylings. So the name, which is there's some speculation about why it is called the Starion. Some suggest it's because it's a star of Orion, which is a nice thing. Some others say though that it is because it sounds a little bit like Stallion, and because this looks, in terms of shaping and styling, just like the Ford Mustangs of that era, which would be termed the Fox body Mustangs. And I think when you look at it side on, you can see it has a really similar silhouette to the Ford Mustang. And I think there's a lot of people that believe that they called it Starion, so it sounded a bit like Stallion, which is obviously another word for a Mustang. And Mitsubishi did tend to have pretty weird names as well that would stir up this kind of controversy. So I prefer to believe that they were just taking a swipe at Ford, who, it wasn't the golden era of Mustangs. Let's just say that. So they made this.
At least
Group
it's
B.
a memorable name.
They made this for Group B, 4-wheel drive turbo. It's a really cool car, but unfortunately Group B didn't run for that much longer after they got this out there, so it had to run some other series instead.
At least it lives on in the world.
Another
Forza
Copper Headlights
Horizon 4
one,
now.
which we adore.
Great. And there's another feature as well coming to this update that we haven't spoken about, and that is Quick Photo. Can you let us know what that is?
Sure. So in last month's update, we added Horizon promo to the game, which tasked players with exploring the open world of Britain and taking a photo of every car at Horizon, which I don't actually know that number off the top of my head, 600 and something. And that meant you had to enter photo mode, to take the picture, and every time you had to wait for that photo to process, which is to say, load all the fancy graphics so that it can make the photo look as good as possible. And that was fine when you're just taking a photo, but when you're trying to take a photo of 600 cars, it meant sitting through a lot of loading screens. So we've added a quick shot button. So once you enter photo mode, you can now just tap right bumper, and it kind of skips the load and just gives you the progress and ticks along. So it makes collecting all those cars for Horizon Promo that much easier. So apologies to anybody who went out and took a photo of all cars before that and had to sit through that load 600 times. Well, I guess you've done that so that other people wouldn't have to.
You've fallen on your sword for the sake of everyone else. Thank you. Real heroes. Well, thank you very much, Mike. That was fantastic. Looking forward to checking out the quick photo mode. That's going to make things much easier, I'm sure, for many people out there. Thank you very much for joining us today.
All right. Thanks, Leah. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.
Thanks. Bye. So you might remember first hearing about it last year, but the long-awaited launch of Forza Street on mobile is almost here. Let's have a little look. Hello, welcome back. So, here to talk to us about Forza Street is the Principal Design Director, Andy. Andy, welcome to the show.
Hey, Leah, thanks so much.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's a sunny day here in Seattle, and we're streaming, talking about an exciting day tomorrow, so can't complain.
Amazing. So, tomorrow it's quite a big day for Forza Street, isn't it? Can you tell us what is happening?
Yeah, so tomorrow the game, Forza Street, is going worldwide on mobile devices, and it's been a pretty interesting development process for us. The game's was released about a year ago on PCs. A number of people have been playing it. Some folks, I think we were out here roughly a year ago talking about it as well. So it's a little bit of a different development process than most mobile games. Being Forza, we've shipped a lot of games on consoles, and a few years back we started shipping on PCs as well. So, we took this approach of first releasing on PC so that we could walk and then run and then fly, hopefully. And, getting out on PC early gave us a chance to get the game in the hands of real players who could actually play it and give us feedback, tell us what they like, what they don't. And in the meantime, in that year since we talked about it a year ago, we've been working to get the game running on, 10s, 20s, 30s, many Android devices, on different iOS devices, learning how to take the Forza physics engine that was, built all around the Xbox and obviously does great on PC, and pack it all into a mobile device as well. So the cars you see driving are actually driving with Forza physics. So even though the interaction, the way you play the game is really focused in order to make it a really good mobile game, you still got that great Forza physics running underneath it, which makes all the cars look, feel meaty, beefy, great audio running on them, all the things you'd expect from a Forza game.
So it sounds like your sort of experience over the last year of it being available on Windows 10 devices has been really helpful now in the launch of the mobile game.
Yeah, it has one thing at a time. Mobile is very different than PC and console. If you think about where people play mobile games, it's so different from sitting on your couch or sitting like I am here in front of my big gaming PC. So we spent a lot of time when we're building the game actually going out and talking to people throughout the world who had different types of jobs, different lifestyles, different places and time. And so we heard how they like to play games, especially mobile games. And so we've really fundamentally tried to build an experience that would fit well within all those different types of play that people experience on mobile, whether you're doing it in between, we talked to a caterer who used to cater in New York who runs a catering business, and she loved to play the game in between customers and clientele. She'd sneak in a game here and there. And we've talked to students that, are going to university and try to sneak it in between classes. And one student says, this is my reward for the end of a hard day of work, is that I sit down and I play the game for an hour after I've done my studies. So just so many different ways people play mobile games that we wanted to build a game that would fit for all those different lifestyles.
Absolutely. I mean, and so what's different about the PC version compared to this new mobile version?
So the PC version, the mobile version are all the same game. So the same mechanics. And actually I do this all the time. A lot of the team that are working at Turn 10 on this will play it on their PC. I've got a gaming rig here. And I'll play it here, but then when I'm out watching the kids later, I'll sneak it out on my phone and I'll be able to sneak in a few additional races. So if you sign up for Xbox Live, which is of course free through the game, then all your progress is saved across devices. You can get achievements and all of that. So the only differences really between them are a few interface differences. Obviously a big screen with a mouse is slightly different than touch. And so we've got an experience that scales from the small screen to the bigger screen. Mouse, keyboard, touch, tap, all work together.
Great. I mean, it sounds like you've been working very hard preparing for this launch. So, I mean, what made you at Turn 10 sort of want to create a mobile Forza game, and sort of how did you end up with this particular iteration of Forza Street?
Yeah, they're literally, I actually think it's billions now, if not many hundreds of millions of people that play games on their mobile phones. And a lot of those people love cars, or are interested in cars and want to learn more and want to understand, the passion for automotive that we hear. And obviously most of the people watching the stream have that passion for cars. So we wanted to create an experience that would welcome them into that world, that would reach people that maybe didn't have an Xbox or didn't have a gaming PC, that could really learn to appreciate and love the automotive culture that's so much about what Forza is about. So we're excited, and we're hoping that we're going to bring in a whole new passionate group of fans to the Forza franchise.
Absolutely. I mean, it's awesome that people who might not have been able to experience the Forza franchise, if you've only got a mobile to play your games on, now you've got an opportunity to get involved with the community. So it's amazing.
There's this one quick story that I'd love to share, because one of the first comments we got on our Facebook page was from a gentleman in Kenya that had never played Forza before, and he said he's always wanted to. And so because we built the PC version to scale down to really a wide variety of Windows 10 devices, he was able to play Forza for the first time. And so that gentleman's story always stands out to me as why we're doing this. It was a pretty cool moment for us.
No, that's great to see gaming be accessible to more and more people. It's amazing. I mean, so I'm sure there's lots of people who are quite curious. Sort of, is the team still working on Motorsport and Horizon titles alongside this?
Of course, yeah. So we at Turn 10, we spun up a small team, myself included, that was focused on bringing the Forza experience to a broader range of devices. And this is obviously the result of that. The heavy lifting of development's been done by a team in the UK, Electric Square, that's been the developer partner on this project. We're trying to take all these learnings and build them into the game and make the game better over time. And some of those learnings are also getting their way back to the other titles as we learn, how to bring things to mobile devices, etc. So
amazing. It all feeds into each other. So right now on the screen, we can see a lot of sort of gameplay features here. Can you sort of talk us through some of the features we'll be expecting to see?
Yeah, so the racing itself is built around a timing mechanic. So rather than trying to steer like you would on a full, simulation level Forza experience, this is about quick tap interactions. The races are all about a minute or less. So you're built, the game was built with mobile in mind. So it's a tap interface. So you time your gas, your brake, and your boost in order to win the races. So that doesn't mean it's not rich and it's not complex. Like, there's a lot of mastery that comes down to based on the track length, how far the corners are apart from each other, the way you're going to time your braking and your gas is going to change, and where you decide to boost also changes. They're one-on-one races against opponents and point-to-point races. We've also got a story mode that is kind of your introduction to the game and carries you through many, many hours of play. There's some cool characters there with different lifestyles from different parts of the world with different car passions, and they'll introduce that to you over time. For those that are more competitive and maybe have been playing the game a little bit longer, we've also got a Rivals mode, which, similar to Rivals in the other games, it's an asynchronous competition between players to try to rise to the top of the leaderboards, of course, for rewards. And then we've also got what we call spotlight events, where every week we put the spotlight on a different car, and we use some of the characters you meet in the career mode to talk about why those cars are awesome. So the game's not just about playing the fastest and best cars of today. It's also about classic cars and retro cars. And in fact, the spotlight this week is on the 85 Ford RS200, another Group B rally star, similar to what Mike was talking about. And so maybe you have not heard of that car before, but you play our spotlight event that week, have a chance to get that car and upgrade that car. You're going to learn more about it as well and what makes it so special.
Yeah, it sounds like a really good way of getting out of your comfort zone, to be honest. Stopping with, going with the most comfortable car and trying something new. So, the question that I want to know, where can people download Forza Street?
So you can download it right now on through the Windows Store tomorrow when it comes out. And the cool thing is, again, as I mentioned earlier, because progress is shared across devices, you can do that and start to get a jump start ahead of tomorrow. But if you want to wait till tomorrow and get it on a mobile device, it's available on the Samsung Galaxy Store. It's also available for download on the Google Play Store, the App Store, and of course, as I mentioned, the Microsoft Store.
Amazing. And there's apparently some special promotions as well. Can you tell us a little bit more about those?
Yes. So anybody who plays in the first month, whether you've been playing for a year or you just pick it up today or tomorrow, anybody who plays for that first month is going to get for free the 2017 Ford GT, which is a pretty awesome car. It's a supercar, and it's going to be very useful in the game. If you are lucky enough to have or to go out and buy a Samsung Galaxy S20, which is a new device that they're shipping, then you're going to get the 2015 Corvette Z06. And for anybody that downloads the game through the Samsung Galaxy Store, you're going to get the 2015 Mustang GT. So some nice freebies for anybody who plays the game and gets it through those devices.
There we go. So Forza Street available tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us, Andy.
Hey, Bet. Thanks, Leah.
No problem. So with all of you, I'm sure, are stuck at home at the moment, and that just means there's plenty of time to play video games. So with that, there's been a bit more friendly competition. Let's have a look at the most recent legendary lap event in Forza Motorsport 7.
Absolutely dominant from RBR Liège. RBR Liège will power down and head towards that start-finish line to take 20 points for Red Bull Racing in race number 1.
Hi everyone, it's Ledge here, and today I'm going to take you for a lap around the modular circuit with the Lamborghini Centenario. Stay on the right hand side on the exit, upshift to third gear and then downshift to second gear, upshift to fourth to fifth, and here we go, that's a lap around the modular circuit.
FRF Energy up against TPR Chemical in the first legendary lap comparisons, and both drivers jockeying to be the last of the late breakers into T1. That prize goes to Chemical, who's going to pull a short-lived car length there on Energy.
This car reminds me a lot of the Lamborghini Diablo that I raced in the Forza RC, but like a faster version of it.
No! That's not dirty! No! No!
Wow, this is going to be close. I think I've got it.
It is fun overtaking people, and I think a lot of people enjoy me overtaking people.
Well, let's remember that Lightning started this race with a penalty. He's taken the slap on the wrist, stopped the car, and let the whole pack run through. Since then, he's powered down and pushed all the way up to 5th place. He'll be ecstatic with that run.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he set out with a strategy and he absolutely nailed it.
Man, the acceleration on this car is smooth. You can really get into this. I'd really like to see what this car does fully loaded. R-Class, S-Class, I bet there's a build for something there.
People say street circuits like Long Beach are predictable and boring. And well, that's wrong.
That impact to the front of Hydra's car has caused severe engine damage. The transmission damaged as well.
It's been a cool road for you the last, couple of years? I was thinking back to Merc Supra, stacking it
Super
at
Marco
turn
4, yeah.
Super Marco 4.
I remember getting that little tap from Wesley.
There you
That
go,
was my
tap from
teammate.
Wesley. And now he's your teammate. It must feel good to have come such a long way, mate.
Yeah, it's amazing to especially race against Mitch in something like that. His own class as well. I know my car was slightly better, but it was just amazing to see how far I've come.
Welcome back. So, returning to the show with the latest in Forza Esports news, we have the veteran of Forza Monthly and the legendary Ali Tack. He's going to be telling you where you can be racing this month. Welcome, Ali.
Hey, what's up, Leah? Thanks so much.
Hello.
Yeah, Legendary Lap's been awesome so far. It's been so great watching everyone just throw their laps together, and quite a lot of action as well up and down the leaderboards from day to day as people pip each other and try and retaliate a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we could see in that video that people got like so much passion, especially if it was streaming. They're loving it. But what exactly is the Legendary Lap event?
All right, so the Legendary Lap is an opportunity to look back at some of Forza Racing Championship's most iconic car and driver combinations. So we're talking like Leisures Centenario, he won the race at Mugello. We had Hydra's Plymouth Fury, it's just wrapped up today. This like massive, heavy old car from the 50s, racing it around the street circuit at Long Beach. It's all these car and track combinations, car and driver combinations we kind of bring to the game as rivals events so that everyone can celebrate and actually try their hand at them as well.
I mean, can anyone take part? How can you take part?
Yeah, so they're in the featured events in Forza Motorsport 7. So you just head to the rivals section and you can get involved there. So you just get down and set your hot lap. You push as hard as you can and see where you stack up on the leaderboard. And setting hot laps, doing rivals events is if you haven't tried it before, it's kind of a fun thing where you feel like you've set your fastest lap time. And then by the time you set what you thought would be your fastest, that lap doesn't feel that good anymore. And you can go a little bit faster. It's this kind of learning process. It's very kind of, I guess it's iterative. It's really addicting. So yeah, get out there and give it a go out there on Forza Motorsport 7.
That's when you realize you looked at the time and 12 hours have passed and you're still trying to do this one lap.
And you have a beard. Yeah, that's right. And you're like starving and dehydrated. It's exactly that kind of gaming experience. Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, it's been a pretty packed community month this month on Forza, as you might imagine. But I hear you have some highlights to show us.
Yeah, we've got some awesome highlights from just the best month in Forza.
Welcome to the Sterling Moss 2.5 hour memory race, waiting for the go any moment now. And they are off. McLaren Senna gets 6, 7, 8 of them. We're going to go 3 wide, 4 wide. McLaren Senna's not going to stop in time. And Blackout's in front of Hydra. Maybe Hydra dropped it into the chicane. Oh, and Hydra's completely dropped it. Blackout. And he is pushing him through Portugal. Oh, that's a dead. That's a commentator's curse right there.
What a final race it was. Absolutely incredible. Really enjoyed that one. Battling all throughout the field. This is how it all started as they headed side by side into turn 1. At the end of that opening lap, you can see just a little bit of contact there That was the 73 of the virtual drivers by TX3, just making a little bit of contact. 3 wide, 4 wide, possibly even in the background, as some more cars make good use of that runoff area. That was when it all went wrong for the Solar Vision, losing the back end through Eau Rouge, coming up and over Radion and losing that position to the Rise car. The rain started to fall at about the halfway point of the race. We had that 4-way battle going on. Lightspeed and Solar Vision and Lazarus. Lightspeed had started to fall behind. This is Solar Vision coming under attack by the Lazarus car into that downhill right-hander and eventually getting through in the end, though. It was Red Bull that picked up the victory. And again, as we said, $10,000 for that very well-deserved win.
I mean, that commentator's curse is real. You feel awful when it happens, but it's real.
Yeah, I
So,
felt
Ali,
bad
there's
for
obviously
Lawrence
quite a
there,
few
man.
different
He was
races there.
sitting there commentating
What
his
was
race, and the
happening?
guy's just spinning around.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, I hate to see it.
So, what were some of the races that we saw there?
Yeah, well, we saw a few good ones from the last month in the community. Of course, there's so much happening, you can't watch them all. But that first one was the Sterling Moss tribute race. A look back at the life of Sir Sterling Moss, who passed away recently. And that race was in his 1955 Mercedes, the Mille Miglia winner. And it's actually a car I was learning about all through today. I had a cool little section on my stream earlier with Andrew Clues from the Motoring Podcast, who was talking all about that car and giving loads of detail there. It's an amazing machine. Turn also do loads of like endurance events usually, and you can check them out over on Forum Motion, turn.forummotion.com. The next one up was New Wave Racing, who are a newer tournament organizer in the community. And it's actually just been really cool seeing their momentum grow and seeing how many people are getting into it. They've jumped into community organizing feet first. They're doing loads of stuff. BMW M2 GT2 Cup is coming to a close right now. Touring car versus Subaru BRZ is the same timing. And upcoming next for them is going to be a Volvo S60 Spec Series, which I'm super excited. That's the WTCC car, not the road car. I'm super excited by that because it's just an awesome vehicle. And I think it'll make some really good close racing. So yeah, I'm pretty tempted to sign up for that one. And then lastly, of course, we saw Le Mans Esports Series, the last round of their online season and the one that would cement the positions of the teams and drivers as they head on toward the super final at the end of their season. Red Bull Racing securing their place at the top of that podium and Lazarus and TPR chasing them down. Also a big shout out to SVR, who made it through in the end. It's great to see a very popular community team making their way up into the top echelon of Forza Esport racing.
Absolutely. And the Le Mans series has been amazing to watch. I've been watching it from first week and it's been really good. And it's not to be underestimated either how these community events take a lot of time and preparation from the people in the community who take the time out to do them. So it's a shout out to those guys.
They all run them as volunteers and they just love doing it. They're there for the love of motorsport and for the love of racing. If you're out there in Forza and you're thinking to yourself, hey, how can I get a more sort of structured approach to racing? How can I get a qualifying session, practice sessions and forums where people chat about tips about how to go faster? And this is really the way to do that. A lot of the very top esports guys on Forza really cut their teeth and honed their skills in these community leagues.
Absolutely. Well, before I let you go, let's see what's coming up next month.
Yeah, we've got a good month coming up on us right now. Formula Mazda is coming up this week. I think that's the first round of this championship. I suspect Mellish will be particularly excited about this one, my buddy. And he loves these Formula Mazdas. They're fun. They're very good cornering cars and will make some great racing. Delta Z4 championships coming to a close. We've got Toro with their Global Touring Car Championship heading to Laguna Seca, which will be an awesome round. VGN with early DTM racing continuing through their championship. The Giulietta Cup was an interesting one for me. A little bit of a sort of, I guess, a shout out or a tip of the cap here for those guys. Not a group I'd noticed before, but putting on Alfa Romeo Spec Racing out there on Facebook. Definitely one to check out. Legacy Championship Racing will bring you IndyCar toward the end of the month, and the 12 Hours of Spa as well with Challenge Esports. A final shout out as well, didn't make it onto the calendar here, but ESDA just announced today a drift competition. It was out there on Twitter and I was excited to see the announcement. Sign-ups are now open and you can head to esportsdrift.com to do that. I think qualifying will be the 5th to the 6th of June. So you've got a little bit of time to build up your car, make it nice and slidey at the rear and get ready to get out there and do some drifting.
That could be you up on the screen here. Thank you so much, Ali. Thank you for joining us.
Cheers, Leah.
So, I mean, the Forza Horizon 4 has probably the best photo mode in any game. I might be slightly biased, but every single month we see some incredible photos taken by you guys in the community, and we've got a little montage of some of the best we've seen so far. So for the first time, we've put out a call for the community to nominate their favorite content creator for recognition. And you guys were pretty insistent with one name coming up over and over again with some very kind words said about him. So who is it? Well, the community spotlight this month is going to be on Stevio2175. He's one of your favorite Forza Horizon 4 content creators. And if you've been following his content, you'll know this is a very special moment right now. Hello, Stevio.
What is going on, everybody? It is so nice to see all you guys. And thank you so much. Just reading the comment section this whole time, everybody just waiting for me to come on. Community support is strong, man. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a fantastic community. But I mean, up until now, you've just been a disembodied voice narrating, and now you've got a full-on face.
Yeah, people have been asking for this for a while. Like, I was originally going to do it at 20,000. I was going to do it at 25,000. But then I was like, you know, my ultimate goal on YouTube is 100,000. So maybe I'll just save it for that. But then I had this opportunity here with Forza Monthly. So I was like, you know what? I got to take it. This is like such a cool way to do it. So.
Yeah, well, thank you for choosing Forza Monthly as the place for your face reveal. Very much appreciated.
Absolutely.
So if
here.
people head onto your
Thank you
channel...
so much for the opportunity.
Absolutely. I mean, so if people head onto your channel right now, what kind of content should they expect to see?
Well, I'm all about Forza Horizon. I got the sweatshirt to prove it, and pretty much anything that has to do with Horizon 4 I do. Like, so I don't drift too much. I don't do too much with like painting, but I tune cars. I do the festival playlist. I team up with people a lot too. I love to live stream, just get together with people, team up for the trial, playground games each week. It's pretty much just I love the community feel that I have on my channel because I feel like it's really unique where we play together a lot versus just I make videos, people watching, that's it. There's a lot of like engagement between us, so it makes it pretty special.
Oh, that's what it's all about, really. And we've been told you're a little bit of a completionist. Would you say that's true?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I get 100% on the festival playlist pretty much every week. Recently with the pandemic, I do work a full-time job. I work retail. So the 1 week I was just working a ton and I didn't get to finish one of the daily challenges. I didn't even realize it. So I got 99%. You know, right away, everybody was on my case, but hey, it is what it is. It happens, right?
Oh, that's pretty rough. I mean, so
Worst things,
how
right?
long ago... How long ago did you start creating content online, and sort of what made you want to start creating videos like this?
So I actually started, it's about 4 years ago. It's actually like 2016, right around when like Forza Horizon 3 came out. I was actually playing Call of Duty more at the time. I was playing Black Ops 3, I think it was, that released then. But Horizon 3 honestly just grabbed my heart real quick. I started playing it a lot. A lot of my viewers started to like it. And I didn't stream back then, but I made a lot of videos, and it just kind of became the identity of my channel, so I stuck with it. And honestly, I don't regret it at all. Like, Forza Horizon's amazing. It's fun to play, and I'm here today because of it.
Absolutely. I mean, you've mentioned the community already as being such an amazing part of why you do what you do. But what would you say is the most rewarding part so far?
Honestly, that really is it. Like, I just love the engagement that we have on the channel, and you're seeing some gameplay right now. I literally got a bunch of my crew members together just to race with me for gameplay for this stream right now. So they didn't know what it was for. I just told them, hey, you're going to want to be here and you're going to enjoy it. So here it is.
Amazing. Surprise. So you make tutorial videos, you help people sort of maybe like me, you don't get to spend as much time learning the ins and outs and just need to know sort of how to get from A to B, literally, and, you know, complete some of the objectives in this game. So what's your process for creating a video like that?
Yeah, so it can really be different and unique just depending on what we're kind of doing. So an example would be sometimes like the winter seasonal championships, and even like the PR stunts can be really difficult for people. Because with the snowy conditions and everything, if you have like a danger sign you have to do, it can be tough. You need a good car, you need a good tune, you might need to know like what line to take to the danger sign to execute it like the best that you can. So pretty much like I just spend my time figuring out, all right, like what's the best way to do this? How can I make this as easy as possible, even for like the newest player in Forza to kind of watch this and be like, okay, yes, I can go do this now.
Yeah, and that, I mean, the research itself takes a very long time to do. How long would you say it takes you from start to finish to make a video?
Yeah, the more in-depth videos, like the tutorials and things like where I'm testing a danger sign, trying to beat like some of the tougher challenges in the game, they can take like 5-6+ hours. And again, working full time, like sometimes it could even take me 2 days just to get the time in to actually get things done. So
yeah, it's amazing that you put out as much content as you do whilst working full time. It's very impressive. What would you say
I mean,
has
it's
been
fun, so that's why it's easy for me.
Absolutely, and the passion just shines through. Just make it a lot easier to put up with those hours. What would you say has been the most challenging video you've created so far?
It's really hard to remember some of them. I mean, I go back 4 years to Horizon 3, so there are definitely some tough like Forzathon challenges that I used to cover back in the day. That was kind of like what I started with. I'd say the most recent one would be when the Lexus LFA came into the game. It was a festival playlist reward, so it was exclusive. Knew it would be a big deal, knew a lot of people would want it, so I wanted to make sure even people that don't know how to play the game too well or don't really know what's going on, that they would have a good chance to actually get the car. So I literally sat down, figured out what everyone would need to do to complete it, what's the quickest way to get there, showed the gameplay, showed the cars that I used, the tunes that I used, and it took a long time to make that video, but I know I helped a lot of people out, so it's well worth it.
And that is the most rewarding part, really, isn't it? When you see that one comment that says, thanks, I wouldn't have done this without you, and you're like, oh, amazing.
Yeah, it's always nice to see comments like that, and my community is amazing, so they always show the appreciation.
Oh, and so on the flip side of that, what do you think is the most fun video you've made on your channel so far?
Most fun video, that's a tough one. I'm gonna say it was actually kind of recently. I covered, there's a unique way, I think it's the outcrop crest danger sign. It's on like the left side of the map in Horizon 4. So there's like the normal way that you can hit it and you can just get an okay score, or you can kind of take it from a different angle and it'll kind of flip you through the air. You're probably gonna end up flipping your car and having like a ton of crazy fails, but you can also get top 1% because it's just a really unique but really effective way to hit it that not everyone knew about. So recording for that and making that video, honestly, was probably the most fun one I've made recently that I can remember.
Risk reward. Amazing. So what would you say are your favorite cars in Forza Horizon 4?
Favorite cars? I mean, I think we'll start with the gameplay that you guys are watching. The Porsche pre-order. Pretty rare car for a super long time. I used to get these at the auction house and give them to people that didn't have them. The car's just amazing. I don't even have it tuned or anything. The way the Forza team kind of just made the car being a pre-order. So much fun to drive. It's rear-wheel drive. Powerful, really good handling. Another one has to be, everyone knows this that watches me, the Lexus LFA. It's my main cruise car. It sounds amazing. The Forza team, again, did an incredible job with the sounds of that thing. If I had to pick one more, number 3, Koenigsegg CCGT. And it's just ridiculous handling, so much fun to drive.
Amazing. Well, Stevie, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on to the show today.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and also thank you to my community again, because I wouldn't have been here without them. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you to Stevie's community. All right, well, that about unfortunately wraps things up for this month's Forza Monthly, but let's quickly take a look at this week's stream schedule. So we've got Johnny Warner, who will continue to give you a reason to tune in every day with his half-hour talks on random car topics. You'll find that at noon every day, and it will start right after this. And if you didn't get enough of Ali Tak today, he does 2 5-hour-long morning streams of Forza Motorsport 7, racing on Mondays and Thursdays, starting at 6 a.m. Pacific. And that's it for this month's Forza Monthly. Thank you to all of my guests for joining me today, and thank you to all of you who've been watching at home. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Bye!